Yeah, can I get 3 Checo tacos, please? Thank you, thank you. Hello? Speaking? The wind tunnel is what? It's f***ed. It needs upgrading then. Okay, so how much? 10 mil? And what's the bottom line right now? 19 mil. Alright, mate. Yep, we'll do that. Yep, get it done. Hey guys, I'm Aussie Villain, and welcome back to Aussie Villain Racing. And today we have the Mexican Grand Prix, and depending on how things are looking, what I don't want to do is drag out the end of the season, because I think everybody's kind of moved on to next season anyway at this point in terms of developing their cars. I think we're kind of where we're going to be for the rest of the season. So we'll see how we're doing. We might do the Brazilian one as well, but that's a sprint weekend, so we'll have to wait and see. Now we can see in the background here the beautiful Aussie Villain Racing headquarters, but what's not so beautiful is the condition of the wind tunnel. So, it's one of these where we can either refurbish it or we can upgrade it. It's going to take 63 days to upgrade. It's going to cost us 10 million. Now, the 63 days is going to take us to the end of the season, so the end of the cost cap, more or less. So the extra cost of the monthly upkeep isn't going to affect us this season. The 10 million isn't going to come out of the cost cap. We've got essentially double the money that we need, so we're going to do it. We're going to get it upgraded, and that should help us then for next season. What it won't do is probably help us get developing or researching for next year's car. But we know that there's going to be the big regulation changes at the end of next season going into Season 3. So I think it's more important to have the best facilities we have when we do research for that car, because that's going to be the big one. And I think that's where we need to look at being when we're sort of competing for podiums and whatnot. So that being the case, that is done. There's not a great deal else to update you on. It's been very quick, just the 4 days. Sort of we're doing back-to-back weekends. So yeah, there's not much to update you on even. So let's go and have a look at the circuit. It is Mexico. It is going to be dry for the racing, for qualifying, a little bit of rain on the Friday. There's the circuit map there. Red sector 1, blue sector 2, yellow sector 3. Lots of slow speed corners, long straights as well, some medium and fast speed stuff in there. A little bit of everything really, isn't there? Which may or may not help us. High speed is one of our strengths. Relatively speaking, it is probably the strongest part of the car, so we need probably some more high speed corners in truth. Now it's a 25-second loss for a pit stop. So that's a bit much to do an extra stop unless you really have a need to. Now the soft tyre is 0.8 faster than the hard, which is pushing it in terms of whether it's worth doing the extra stop or not. I think a 25-second time loss is going to be a little bit too much in truth. So we can see there Verstappen has won, only just won last year. Look at that for a margin of victory. But yeah. That's not our race though, is that we are desperately trying to get a point from somewhere if we can at all manage to. So both drivers at this point should be finishing in the top 18, so we'll do that, head off to Mexico. So there we go, confirmation of essentially for what matters, it's going to be dry. So I'll do some free practice and see you for quali. Alright, so we have finished free practice. Let's go and have a look at how we did. FP1, as you can see, it was a wet session, 15th and 21st. FP2, there was rain involved, but it dried up towards the end, so we were 12th and 18th in that one. And then FP3, we can see this was a dry session, 12th for Stoffel and 21st for Doohan. Now, we are taking some penalties with Van Dorn for this one. He needs a new ERS. I've bought it, and we're going to put it on the car now because, that's not particularly good. It'll probably go to being worn through the race. And also, if we're going to buy a new one, we might as well put it on now and get the maximum, the maximum value out of it. Do I expect Stoff to stick it in a wall and ruin it? Yes, I do. Very much so, but we'll have to hope he doesn't do that. So Q1, let's go see how we do. And of course, let's remember that, Van Dorn's got traffic in the first bit of the lap there, which isn't great. Doohan's got it in the worst possible place. So I'm not sure how much the penalty is going to be. Let's see where that time stacks up. So Sonoda is quite a bit quicker. Doohan is, wow, so we're way off the pace. It looked like we got held up, but I suspect that's been a little bit worse than I would, because we're a second and a half off Bottas, and we know we're not fantastic, but we're not a second and a half off Salvarawi. So we might even, we've got time here. Let's send them straight back out on the same set of tyres. Apparently we've stayed. Oh, Jesus Christ. I simulated a lot of free practice and I'm regretting that now. What are we doing with Doohan's tyre allocation? So let's hope that this lap is better for us. Otherwise, Doohan in particular. So I think I've learnt my lesson there. Don't sim free practice because the tyre allocation. Get out of the way, Albin. is absolutely horrible. So we're both gone green in the first sector, so I think there was traffic that held us up. That's more like it. 9th for Stoff. Where's Doohan going to come across the line? He's coming around now, and 11th. So that's more like it. We'll see how that stacks up. I mean, Doohan doesn't really have the tyres to go again, in truth. So we'll have to see how that goes. I mean, he's ahead of Ricardo, which is good, and Sargent. We would expect 3 of those bottom 4 to go ahead of us, which leaves Doohan kind of on the bubble a little bit. But it's a 0.3 of a second gap. I mean, he kind of needs to go again, doesn't he? But like I say, we don't have the tyres for it. I don't know what is the AI doing on that one.
We've got a yellow flag.
Sargent has spun, so that's good. He's not going to go faster than us, you wouldn't have thought. Ricardo's got some damage as well. We're just gonna cross our fingers on this one and really hope that Doohan gets through, because he's only going to have one set of new tyres now for Q2 if he gets there. Ricardo's gone ahead of us. Albon could go ahead of us. Maybe K-Mag, maybe Sargent. Doohan is in a little bit of trouble here, I think. Let's have a look. What are sector times like? So Sargent is going faster. Albon is not. And I think we're okay. He's got through. Okay, so we are on our second lap. Both cars had a bit of a nightmare on the first lap. Van Dorn actually locked up, so we brought him in, refueled him, but we sent him back out on the same set of tyres just to set a banker lap, which wasn't much of a banker lap, to be honest. It was quite comfortably the slowest. Doohan, not sure what happened on his lap, but we know that he's quicker than that, because Bottas is sort of a reference. And if Bottas is the reference, then good things could be about to happen. Now, Van Dorn, on a new set of tyres, should not be going slower than he did on a set that looked like a 50-cent piece. So that's slightly concerning. I don't necessarily expect to get out of Q2, but we would like to be a little bit quicker than we currently are. So Van Dorn goes ahead of Hulkenberg. Doohan comes across the line. He goes ahead of Bottas. And Stoff may well, with a penalty, be starting last in this one. So 13th and 15th is where we qualify. Like I say, Van Dorn with a penalty, he's going to be starting last. Alright, so it's 21st on the grid for Stoff, not actually last. So I'm very tempted to sim this race, because I don't think it's got the pace to score points. What I don't want to happen until we've scored points is to miss the race where we score points first. So I think it's been proven a few times, certainly to me, that what we want to do is start on a soft, to get the undercuts, because you lose out so much time if you're not on the soft to start with. I mean, if you're out on old tires or people are on new tires. So let's do that. Did both cars save a set of mediums? Let's hope that the AI had something in mind when they did this. Yeah. We'll go and see what we can do in the race here. Alright, so here we go. We are obviously in a little bit of a struggle here with Van Dorn. One thing about this track is that you can overtake it. So that is definitely something, but it's going to be very tough. Doohan's briefly up to 11th. Now what tyres is everybody else on here? So there's a hard tyre, some mediums. We're going to want to be ahead of anybody that's not on a soft, ideally by the end of this stint. Tsunoda, Ricciardo, Hamilton, we've got to be looking at being ahead of them here, I think. Van Dorn has not moved up anywhere off the line. Now there's a lot of soft tyre runners around the back here as well. So that instantly makes me think, with him, let's save the tyres, because it's going to be difficult to overtake, I think. So if we save his tyres a little bit, and then we can look to push him on a little bit later on. Whereas Doohan is in a decent position. What we don't want to do, ideally, as Van Dorn does indeed go and get past Sargent, which is good. We just don't have the pace with Doohan, do we? We've got to get him back into that DRS. We've got to get him into DRS. Oh, and Stroll just nicked past us. Alright, go with Stroll and get back up to those soft tyre runners, Jack. That's what we need you to do, mate. He has got DRS, so we can probably not deploy. We'll get DRS again, so we just had to... Yeah, we don't have to take that corner, mate. That's fine. As Ocon gets past Van Dorn, he goes back to where he started. Alright, well, not a great start, in truth. Alright, well, we are really, really struggling here. So what I'm tempted to do is we might even start to call it here in terms of actually showing the highlights of this one. And, you know, obviously, if anything happens, I'll come back. And I'll still keep you updated through the race. But Doohan is back to 16th, and he's just struggling with medium-tired runners right now. And Stoff is, where is he now? 20th. I mean, he has just not moved forward at all. Alright, so Doohan has absolutely no pace. So we're going to... He's falling backwards on a soft tyre. We're going to bring him in, stick him on a hard, just run as long as we can. Hopefully he might get a little bit of free air somewhere. And I think I'm going to push on Van Dorn and probably look to do something similar in truth. Because as things stand right now, we're absolutely nowhere. So it feels like there is literally nothing to lose. So we'll go off strategy a little bit. He can attack pretty much as hard as he wants. We'll just sort of see where that leaves us off. I mean, the thing was, Doohan wasn't even able to... A car would pass and he wasn't even able to stay within DRS to get, you know, to kind of stop the dropping back. So if he's that much slower than everybody, there's no point persisting with it. We'll try something different. Stoffel, we'll see what he can do. But again, he's so far back now. Yeah, and the problem is that, you know, we're going to start getting lapped, and that's just going to slow us down more now with Doohan as well. But I don't think we're nowhere. Absolutely nowhere. Alright, so Van Dorn, to be fair to him, is doing a decent job. Now that the Doohan train has left, and everybody's spread out a little bit, he's doing a decent job of catching, DRSing, and sort of getting his way up the field. So he's 15th right now. A couple of Bottas and Magnussen have stopped. Doohan is in the process of getting lapped. Has he been lapped by anybody yet? They're certainly right behind him. And Bottas has stopped, and we can see on the mini-map, he and Magnussen, who have stopped, we can just see Magnussen there. They're quite a ways ahead of us. So, yeah, I mean, it is what it is. Also, Perez must have stopped because he was winning, so that's why we haven't been lapped yet. There we go there. So there go the leaders. Hopefully he's not going to get held up too badly. But, I mean, even his lap times on a hard, pushing as hard as he can, are not great. So that is what it is. Now, we did get Van Dorn to his pit window. So he can make a he's scheduled stop. And he comes out ahead of... Oh, in lapped. Well, that's not fantastic either, is it? Yeah, see, this is going to stuff us up now because we're going to be slowing down to get lapped, and the cars that we're trying to get an undercut on right now are not going to have to do that. So, yeah, this race is pretty much gone. Alright, so to add sort of misery to injury, Doohan has crashed with with Alonso, who was putting him another lap down. I've gone for an extra stop because we're actually struggling to get to 18th, and yeah, so we'll see. You can see Van Dorn on a soft tyre really pushing is a couple of seconds a lap faster, so I'm just hoping that works out for us. This is just an unmitigated disaster, this race. 5-second time penalty, change of front wing. It's going to be 20 seconds. I didn't serve a penalty there, so we still got to serve a penalty. Alright, so we're coming around to start our last lap with Stoffel. To describe this race as anything other than a complete disaster would be inaccurate. I'm not quite sure why it's been a complete disaster. We made extra stops just to try and get some pace from tyres. If we had got a well-timed safety car, as Perez wins in Mexico, so that's Mexico in riot status, isn't it? Yeah, Doohan, how many laps down is he in the end? Just the 3. I mean, to be fair, that could have been worse. He doesn't even get the sponsorship money, which tells you roughly roughly how bad it's been. And here we go now with Stoffel coming across to finish 17th. I mean, this is early season stuff, isn't it? Let's put this behind us, head off to Brazil. Okay, so two things to update you on before the Brazil sprint weekend. The first thing is we have a hospitality area refurbishment that is done. So that's obviously good. And the other thing was, ATR period has started. So we are researching suspension as well. So that's all for next year, though. Let's have a quick look at this track. It is a sprint weekend, and we are not no rain for sprint qualifying. So that might give us an outside chance if we qualify well, I suppose. Red sector 1, blue sector 2, yellow sector 3. We can see there longs, fast straights, mostly slow speed corners, couple of medium and high speed stuff. So not a track that should suit us. Time considerations there, 23 seconds for a stop. So it's expected to be a 2-stop. And the compound performance, it's not a huge difference between the soft and the hard. So that sort of leans to a medium soft race, which is the preferred strategy. So historically, a little bit of everything. We'll see what happens. Though we're not going to win it, that's for sure. So race targets, I think despite a bit of a disastrous Mexico, we will continue to say 18th or better. And with only one free practice session, I need to hopefully nail a good setup here for us. Alright, so we've done our free practice session. Now, unfortunately, Van Dorn's gearbox, which was an old one, packed it in. So, Doohan was 12th on a hard tyre, which is not too bad. Van Dorn was last, didn't get a dry lap in. And yeah, so that is just not ideal, obviously, because his engine wasn't far from it in either. Yeah, I mean, not ideal, but we'll see. Now, I'm going to take this a little bit more seriously than I usually take the sprint race. Because if it's a wet sprint qualifying and we are able to qualify well, we just might be able to nick a point. Now, we don't know our setup because, you know, you only get one session. But let's go and see. Let's go see if we can keep our good sprint or wet qualifying, I should say, going and get ourselves in a good position here. Alright, so it looks like conditions are going to stay about the same. It might get a little bit better or a little bit worse at some point. It's obviously difficult to know from that exact graph, but we're sort of right in the middle of a damp session. So let's see. Let's get our lap in. We're going to get held up there. No, it's okay. Denny Rick, get out of the way of Doohan, please. Thank you. Hamilton out of the way of Van Dorn, please. No, he's not going to get in his way in the end. So let's see where this lap puts us. Doohan not going as fast as Van Dorn, only 3/10 off though. And let's see if we get an idea of what everybody else is doing. So we are a long way off Sonoda. Ahead of Zoe. But a long, long way off. Looking like we're going to get into the top 10 there, aren't we? Alright. Track has changed to dry. Now we know that there's levels of dry, isn't there? Let's stick fresh inters on and go again. Is Jack going to come in? Come on, Jack. Fresh inters, go again. Where's Van Dorn? Van Dorn's got a bit of free air. Doohan has a bit of free air as well. Is anybody going to get in our way coming out? Only Verstappen potentially, but we've got him out of the way. So Van Dorn is going faster. Doohan is going faster. Doohan's run wide. Of course you have, mate. How much is that going to cost him in terms of time? Van Dorn runs across the line in 7th. Doohan is still going faster, to be fair to him. And he comes across the line in 9th. So he couldn't have gone that wide. Alright, so that is much more like it. Now, is everybody else going to do a similar time now? That's going to be the issue here, isn't it? As Zoe runs wide. And we are now 9th and 10th. If it wants to start piecing it down, that'd be okay. We don't have time to go again, so we're just kind of hanging on here and hoping. We're going down and down and down and down, and we're still there. Russell, is he going to ruin our day? Russell comes across the line. Is anybody else on a lap? Doohan is okay. Yes, he is. Okay. And again, it's going to be fairly consistent conditions. That's not what we want, is it? We need the changeable conditions for us to be able to sort of outperform the car. And if we don't get that, that's when, you know, we're not a top 10 car, are we? We know that. So, well, I don't know. Everybody's out. And Van Dorn has spun. You absolute muppet, mate. Absolute muppet. Alright, well, just come in, get out of the way. Don't hold up Dorn. Thank you, sir. Alright. Well, maybe Van Dorn can hold up everybody. Get in the way. Park it in the middle of the track, mate. So Dorn does a 16.3. Now, of course, it's wetter than it was in the first part of qualifying. So we take that with a pinch of salt, but we're well off. We're well off. So it's 14th and 15th for the sprint race. And I think we've got extra hard tyres, so I think we will we'll stick them both on a hard tyre. And we'll just sim the race, I think, because there is not too much for us to be gained. We can't change the setup. So, yeah, let's sim and see what happens. Alright, so Leclerc won the sprint race, and if we scroll down and down and down, Van Dorn and Doohan were 14th and 16th, respectively. So, yeah, roughly as expected, that one. Let's go and do some qualifying. Alright, let's get us straight out there for this one. Doohan as well, and see what we've got. It's a dry session, so it's going to be difficult for us. We should be able to get out of Q1, you would have hoped. I've tried to tinker with the setups a little bit to improve it from the sprint race. I'm not sure if I've been able to do that or not. Now, Doohan might get a sneaky draft off of Gasly up the main straight here, which could help him. So a 108.5 for Van Dorn. And, yeah, doing about 3/10 off, but crucially ahead of Gasly. Only 7/10 off of Ferrari. Now, it's a short lap, but maybe Van Dorn's done a good lap. Alright, so we're on board with Jack Doohan for this second lap. He's currently outside looking in. Van Dorn is 13th. There's a lot of mechanical issues up and down the field here, so hopefully that hurts teams in the race. I wonder if that is potentially where we could nick a point at some point, is, you know, just a lot of retirements or mechanical issues and things like that. Doohan is not going any faster, though, which is disappointing. Van Dorn has not gone faster in the middle sector either. Doohan has. I wonder if that was a little bit of dirty air that he was getting from Gasly through the middle sector, and then he'll lose what would have been the draft down here. And he does improve a little bit. He's in by a B-stick, really, isn't he? Look at how close that is with Hulkenberg. And let's see, do we have anybody? Gasly's going faster. Ocon's going faster. Ocon bumps Doohan. So Doohan qualifies 19th, which is not great. We might even take a penalty with him because his ERS is struggling to make the end of the season. Van Dorn, he did make it through, only just. Oh, so we've had a red flag. Is that Perez that's out? Van Dorn's done a pretty good lap. He's ahead of Alonso right now. So what's caused the red flag? It is Perez. So I'm assuming that's him out of qualifying. It's a very Perez thing to do, isn't it? Alright, and what we're trying to do now, although I've just noticed that the track rubber is low, so maybe I shouldn't have sent him out now, but we're on a new set of tyres to go again. And I'm hoping everybody was on their... So when they finished their fast laps, I sent Van Dorn out so that we're on our warm-up lap when they're on their cool-down lap. So they should all pull into the pits when we do our hot lap, which is what happened, and we've got a clear track. So, let's see. Only 7/10 off Verstappen here. Now, we've not gone any faster in the first sector. We'll get an idea of the second sector time here momentarily. And that's not any faster either. So, we'll let him finish it. I was going to call him in, but we'll let him finish the lap. And, no. So, it may well be that he just did a really, really good lap the first time around, but if he...
Okay.
So, Van Dorn into Q3 in 6th place. Let's see if he can go again. Okay, so his first run on used tyres was not a good lap. He's 2 seconds off. So we've got our last new set of tyres on. We're sacrificing that for the race to see how much further up we could start here. Ricciardo spun on his lap, so that's why he is so far off the pace. Alonso, I didn't see anything go wrong with him. So I'm not sure what the issue is there. But he's a long way off the pace as well. Now we've done a green first sector. Can Stoffel pull out another lap as somebody did a better lap there? Ricciardo. Come on, Stoff. Green, green. What have we got down the straight? Come on, Stoff. Come on, Stoff. Come on, Stoff. Come on, mate. Oh, he's just not quite quick enough. I imagine we'll be starting P10 because I think Alonso will surely go faster. He's gone green, green. He's coming around, and this is going to be us starting 10th, isn't it? No? Well, we'll take that. Okay, so let's call this the feature race, shall we, of the episode. Do we want to take a penalty with Doohan? Is that going to get us to the end? It might get us to the end of the season, you know. Let's not spend the money. Okay, so we don't want a hard tyre. Soft. Now, Vendorn doesn't have soft tyres now. That's his problem, isn't it? I guess we're doing this then with him because we don't really have too many other options. Doohan does have softs. Now, what was the pit stop lost time, did I say? Circuit info, time considerations, 23 seconds. And it's fairly well. It's not a huge tyre eater, is it? Alright, so I don't think... I think that's fine for Doohan. In fact, what we might do is start on a soft. Or you've got to eke the softs out a bit, do you? Alright, so we're gonna I don't know if that's the best thing to do with Doohan, to be honest, but that's what we're gonna try anyway. Try and come in earlier, get the undercut, even if we have to sort of eke the tyres out at the end. Doohan, realistically, starting 19th is going to need a little bit of luck, isn't he? But Vendorn starting 8th, he's in this one. He's right in this one, and let's hope that he can pick up a point here for us. That'd be a very, very nice thing, wouldn't it? Alright, here we go. No idea where I'm going to put the ad in this one. Look at that ABR car there. And, yeah, so I won't say welcome back, because I'll probably put the ad in earlier in the episode. I think, as ever, we will say maybe we do with stock want to defend a little bit, try and hold on to positions. Doohan doesn't need to defend, though. Don't waste your time slowing yourself up. You should be passing cars anyway. And we have held on to 8th, which is very nice. Now, Verstappen and Perez are going to be the problem here, aren't they? They are definitely going to come cruising past at some point, and that will then put us in 10th. So we know if we're going to score points, we are going to need luck to do it. That is just where we're at right now. But DRS is enabled. Hamilton is looking vulnerable-ish, you'd have to say. So let's see if we can go and get him. No, we've got Verstappen behind us now. And it's one of those things where we don't want to lose time, really, fighting Max Verstappen, because he's not our race. So there's no need to waste time doing that. We don't want our tyres going too far here into Hurt Town. And let's see. I mean, Hamilton looks slow, doesn't he? Can Stoff get a move done up the inside? Surely he can. And are we going to have the second dose of DRS to keep it? Looks like we are. So up to P7 now for Vendorn. So that gives a little bit of breathing room with the two Red Bulls coming through. And we've got both RBs in front of us as well. Ricciardo with an issue. And he's clearly holding up Sainz. So, oh, if you've got something, cross it. Long, long way to go. We know that it doesn't always work out for us, but, well, let's see. Are we going to get re-overtaken by... Yes, we are. Okay, well, maybe it's not looking quite so good. Yeah, there he goes. Okay, excellent. Back to 9th. Well, it's all gone wrong there. We're back to 12th now. This battle assist, I don't think... When you deploy off the line, it does a really, really bad job, I think, anyway, of... it just like it recharges straight away, I think, and it's just let everybody come straight back past us. I'm going to lose DRS again. Oh, yeah. I'm assuming all the AI is using the ERS off the line, because why wouldn't you? But I don't know. I don't know why it's not or why it's trying to recharge it straight away. Anyway. Alright, well, Vendorn is now gone to the back of the lead group. It's 5-6 seconds back now to the also Rens, which includes Doohan. We're just a sitting duck down the straight, unfortunately, and we're just really, really slow in a straight line. And you can see, well, we drop out of DRS before we have a chance to sort of get back at cars. So yeah, that's obviously disappointing. We'll see. Maybe the race will come back to us. Everybody is on a similar-ish strategy. Yeah, I'm not really sure. Alright, so Duan has done a pretty good job on his tyres here, it must be said. He's got the soft tyres to where we need them to get to. He is coming in this lap. We've got a full battery, so we'll look to deploy him when he comes out. A few cars stopped the lap before, so unfortunately it doesn't look like we're going to quite get the undercut I was hoping for. Unless we can get a really, really good stop here. But there were no issues, you know, from the other cars. So it's going to be a bit of an ask, potentially. But there goes the softs. The 2.4 seconds is not terrible. And we are going to be... Where are we going to be? Mechanical fault for Russell. I mean, these are all good things, potentially, for what's-his-face. For Van Dorn to nick a point. We need, as I've said many times, haven't I, at this point, we need luck. We need luck if we're going to get anywhere here. We need these tyres up to temperature 2, please, Jack. Yeah, and mechanical faults are a pretty good way to get some luck, aren't they? We should get some DRS off the back of those guys, I think. We do, if one comes in. And let's not deploy, because we will hopefully be able to get drawn along. And if we can just run, who's this coming out? Is it going to be? It's an overtake. Oh, we've nicked one off Gasly. Oh, no, we haven't. He's got us back. But, not sure where Gasly was in the grand scheme of things before. If he was in that battle with us or not, he must have been. But yeah, that's okay for doing. There's some other cars coming in now. And Van Dorn has found himself in DRS of Stroll. Now, Stroll must have stopped because he was quite a ways up the road. So we'll come in this lap. We don't want to spend too much time out on old tyres and everybody else is on new tyres. And I did see... Oh, that's not what I wanted to do. I think there's a few guys coming out on hards. This is surely the old one-stop, isn't it? So they'll be struggling a little bit towards the end. So let's see... see what happens. Of course, we are planning to come in and put a hard tyre on. So, if they are going to the end, what we'll have is a newer hard tyre to get there. We'll try and get them back, I suppose. We should come out ahead of Bottas, I would have thought and hoped. Looks like we will. So we are where we were, at 14th. But we've got some fresh tyres here. We're 11 seconds behind Russell, but who might be trying to get to the end. So we'll see how that shapes out. Dylan's not a mile behind us at this point. So he's done a pretty good stint there, has Jack Doohan. But we do need these tyres to try and get us a fair way here. Alright, so we're just about halfway through, so we'll have a quick update here. Now, we're sort of going back and forth with Albon. That is George Russell in front, who has a mechanical fault. We've been catching him fairly quickly, and I imagine both cars... I'm assuming the mechanical fault is what's slowing him up. So I'm thinking both cars will get past him, and so we'll be, so instead of battling for 13th, we'll be battling for 12th. You can see it is then quite the gap to Alonso, and where we could pray for a mechanical fault in the top 10 to get points. So yeah, that's a little bit of a long shot. Doohan he's okay. Oh, that's a bit of a cluster F. What's going on there? Yeah, he's got sort of Magnussen in front of him. He's been going back and forth with K-Mag, and it's a bit of a gap then to get to ourselves and Albon. So yeah, that's kind of where we're at. I'm assuming anybody on a hard, maybe these guys on a hard tyre aren't trying to get to the end. Leclerc almost certainly is, because he went long on a... Or maybe he's not going to be able to get there. So we'll kind of see how this all shakes out. There's an outside chance if we get Russell and there's something favourable that goes on in the top 10, maybe we could get a point. But yeah, we're just still just that little bit not quite quick enough. Alright, so we are right behind Russell with Van Dorn. Through lap traffic, Albon actually dropped off the back of us a little bit, so that's positive. Hopefully we can go and get Russell fairly quickly here. You can see he's just a little bit better traction out of these corners than us. Hopefully we've managed to keep DRS there. It looks like we have. But Doohan is the reason I've come back. Doohan has 2 new sets of soft tyres sitting in the garage. He's nowhere right now, so we're going to use the 2 sets of soft tyres, make the extra stop, and hopefully We just got to keep P18 to get the sponsorship money. We're going to be a lot quicker than everybody. Oh, we've not had a good stop there, though. And you know what I like about this, though, actually? A bad stop, 2 seconds slower. That's a bad stop, isn't it? As Van Dorn, did I get that in time? Does get now, Russell, DRS into the straight. Yes, it is.
So we're heading now into turn 5.
And we need to try and put a little bit of gap on him now, because we've got another stop coming, obviously. And well, what we don't want to have happen is to be a mile behind him if we can help it. So let's deploy, try and break the DRS. I don't think we've managed to do that, though, have we? We're still pulling away from him. So maybe we're just about done enough. But anyway, let's focus back in on Van Dorn. Can we get a good stop? Can we get some mechanical failures in front of us? Something, anything. Off on go. 2.6 is not too bad. And now on this hard tyre, he should be able to push. So who's that just got past us? Is that a lapped car, perhaps? Must be. That looked like an RB, didn't it? Anyway. Alright, well, unfortunately, we'll start with Van Dorn. We can just see Albon driving off into the distance there. We just don't have the pace. We just don't have the pace. It's so disappointing. Now, Dorn is going to come in for his final stop to go on to another set of soft tyres. That is Ocon. We've sort of been going back and forth with him. We never really got to overtake him properly. Now, Russell had a spin. He's currently 18th, and that, I think, is going to be enough to now enable us to be able to get our position for the sponsorship money. Because this is 18th now, and Sargent will come out maybe roughly even with. But he is on an old set of hard tyres. We should be fine. The hard tyres, I think, is Van Dorn's problem at this point. He just doesn't have the pace. So, yeah, Dorn can sprint for the finish line here. Verstappen's with a mechanical failure. We can't see exactly how serious, but yeah, it's not going to be today that we score our first points, I don't think. Alright, so Dorn has caught up to the back of the struggling George Russell. This is Sargent now in front of us here. We're just deploying just to try and make sure we get our sponsorship money here. The Hassers are a little ways up the road, so he was going to finish 15th. It's, given that we're laps down, probably unlikely he's going to get back to that now. Yeah, 10 seconds to get to the Hassers, who are sort of nose and tail. Yeah, I mean, he'll give it a go, but 2 seconds. Yeah, maybe he could. 2 seconds a lap. Oh, so Verstappen has just retired. Now 3 laps to go. It's an argument to say we may not be able to get that. No, we will. We will get ahead of him. So that's now Van Dorn up into P12. We still need a bit of a miracle. But yeah, it's getting a little bit closer. And Dorn is, yeah, he's roughly matching the Hassers now for lap time, so he's not going to unfortunately get to that. I don't really know what to say. It's just not happened for us at all today. In Mexico, we just lacked complete pace, and then as Leclerc made a 1-stop work here. Pit stop. Oh no, we did 2-stop. Yeah, we've just not had the pace in the race, have we? So we can't actually get to the points because we're 2 laps down. Alonso's a lap down. So unless Alonso gets lapped in this one, and yeah, I mean it's a bit of a stretch from 12th in any case. But yeah, it's the end of the season, isn't it? So I think what we might do from now to the end is we'll do like we did today with the double races. And yeah, just get to the end. So it's going to be P12 for Van Dorn, which is a really good result for us. Again, it's a good result. It's up there with anything we've done this season. I'm ready to score points. I want to score points now, and we're still not quite there, are we? So maybe Vegas. Maybe Vegas. So there we go. It is Van Dorn down 4 to 12th. Jack Doohan goes up 3, but yeah, I mean the thing is, no one's scoring points around us. So I can't believe Sargent's got a point and we don't. So yeah, it's not going to change much, is it? We're going to finish 9th, which is what we needed to do. Pit stops. yeah, we're sort of falling off the pit stop wagon a little bit as well. It'd be very nice to stay ahead of RB if we could and get that extra money, but if we can't, we can't. It's not the end of the world, is it? So there we go. Next up, it is Vegas as Ferrari team principal. We never lost. We won every race at Vegas. It would be a massive, massive upset considering if we look at car analysis and average on the grid, we are the slowest, I think, in the straight line. We're faster than one car. So it's going to be a very, very big big ask, but you never know. And then I think the other one is going to be, where's the thing here? So Vegas and Qatar and Abu Dhabi to round out the season. So that's what's coming up, and I will see you for those. Take care.